And we are live for the 9th episode of the Mixed Martial Angst podcast. I am your host, as always, Ben Cohn. Joining me today, we have three guests. It's 1:30 a.m. for me. It's different times for them. And they're all either less tired or more busy than I am right now. Joining us today is, for the first time in a while, Mehul.
Hi guys.
Hola.
That'll work. Alejandro, not Mehul. You wait for your turn to say hola. We also have Bilal, who neither had a nap nor family to visit.
Well,
But-
half is true.
But
I'm-
maybe there will be demons. Maybe there will be demons.
Hopefully,
Oh,
not.
shut your. I'm too tired to get to the word, but
Shut your
not-
demon hole.
yes, there we go.
And finally, Alejandro. Now you can say hola.
Hola.
Yay! All right. So it is right after UFC 232. It was pretty, it was a fight card that things happened on. I would say it wasn't that exciting. Nothing really
Oh, shut your
surprising
mouth.
happened.
Oh, really?
Nothing surprising happened.
No,
at
it
all.
just happened. It came and went.
Yeah, it was an event. It was kind of like the preamble to the fight. Nothing happened. During fight week, no surprises. Everyone just came, made weights.
Hey, the fight's not over until the post-fight results come.
But in all seriousness, UFC 232 was fucking bananas.
A clusterfuck. It was a clusterfuck.
It was a cluster fucking banana peel. Like, just this was like, I don't know if anyone played Donkey Kong on N60 on Nintendo, but
No.
there were as many, like, it was as bananas as that game was.
N64.
No, sorry, I
No.
meant the Super Nintendo version.
No, I had that game. It's
a fucking
amazing.
great game.
Yes.
Anyway, let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about the main event. John Jones won the vacant light heavyweight title, defeating Alexander Gustafsson by TKO in the third round.
Mhm.
Who's clapping? Stop that.
What?
Who's clapping? Stop that. Don't clap.
Wow.
Oh, why? It's to keep the demons away. Don't get mad.
So I guess we'll first start with our, we're going to kind of just break down what we saw on first watch. None of us ever watched the fight, obviously. We saw John Jones looking quite relaxed in there. So I guess that whole mental aspect that I was talking about in the pre-fight was non-existent. Gustafsson.
Oh, shit. Were we wrong tonight?
Oh, yeah. Gustafsson kind of just looked like Gustafsson does.
Yeah.
Not much changed. What surprised me, I think, was seeing Jones fight so much off the back foot, yet still have as much success as he did, because he basically gave us the center, which we know that Gus is not good off his back foot, where he's more flustered. He's more going to turn and run. He's not as defensively sound. He can't slip punches as well. And he's more potent offensively when he's moving forward. Yet Jones was still able to basically
Kick him in the leg.
Yeah, kick him in the leg a lot, and this time actually do serious damage to it. We saw Gus react. I really liked the adjustment by Jones to shoot a lot, actually, and use it to enter the clinch, because it worked. It was really effective. He landed a lot of shots, good knees and good elbows in the clinch. He forced Gus to react, and it actually eventually led to the finish, especially after he started feinting those takedowns. So he got Gus to start biting on feint, and then on the takedown that he actually scored to win the fight eventually, Gus didn't bite at all. Gus did not react, and he got taken down and beaten to shit. So things we learned about John Jones: he doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's juicing. He's still heads and shoulders above everyone at light heavyweight. His ground and pound is still unbelievable and something we haven't seen in a freaking long time. His kicks still looked great. His boxing looked
Spazzy.
fine. It was pretty, like, Gus was landing some decent combinations and good jabs on him. His defensive boxing was pretty spotty. His offensive boxing was definitely, I would say, better.
Yes. Can I say something?
It's not your turn, but yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, Maho's next. Maho's next.
Ah, shit. No, you go, Mejo. You go.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, I would say we'll go to you, Mo.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So I was watching the fight, and some of the comments in the bloody elbow comment section said that both fighters looked rusty and flat. But like at the end of the fight, I did think John Jones, through natural training, did get a lot better technically. Like he seemed better at dealing with Gus's reach. Like he was picking his shots better. He was sniping at Gus better. Like some of those elbows he caught Gus with, some like just and the timing of his entries were better. He got into the clinch better where he was still great. And the takedown was excellent. Like the takedown that ended it. And we saw the return of the elbows, which was always a nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the elbows. Like, I mean, I personally think Kane's elbows like are the best I've ever seen, but John is a close second. And yeah, I think he almost surprised Gus even with his ground and pound, because like by the end of it, Gus seemed out like at least 3 good punches before the fight was stopped. Like he wasn't defending at all. Like he was just done. And
yeah, he was concussed.
We should also just quickly mention John has the best clinch in MMA history.
Yeah, he does.
No, not really.
Yeah, he does.
Who's better?
He does.
Who's better?
Yeah.
Just as far as just pure clinch fighting, I would say DC, because John.
DC.
Wait. No, but depends. It depends on what you're looking at, because as far as doing damage, what John is doing with that clinch is not necessarily what DC is doing with that clinch. I'm just saying, if you want to do damage, if you want to use it for management purposes, yes, John Jones has the best clinch, but they're not being used necessarily for the same thing. I think.
Disagree, but go ahead, Maho, or Maho, if you're done, Bilal.
Oh, my turn again. Again, fast. Yeah, well, since Alejandro mentioned it, I do also want to point out that, yeah, John doesn't, his clinch work isn't entirely focused on actual damage unless he sees it. Because a lot of what he did in the DC fight there was neutralize DC and then weigh him out by hanging on him with occasional knees to the body. You compare that to someone like, I know, Demetrius Johnson, who tends to be a lot more active offensively in the clinch. I am hesitant to say DC because he's quite good at what he does, but he's a lot more limited in that area compared to guys like John, DJ, or even Matt Brown, who offer a ton more variety. So now all depends what you're looking for. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, it obviously works really, really well, but you can see the limitations to it. You could see the limitations to it in this fight here, where John could only ever get strikes in on clinch breaks. He struggled getting them in during actual long clinch exchanges.
Exactly.
So I'm obviously not a bad at all. It's quite good, above most other MMA fighters, but offensively,
yes, he's doing something different. John is doing something different. Like he's operating in a different level than most fighters. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, although I do want to say John still looks spazzy with his volume. I mean, before we started airing, Alejandro and I were talking about it a bit, but John was doing a lot of things like, throwing a lot of leg kicks to slow Gus down, and then throwing body kicks to help strap John's rear hand to his guard, as well as then all those clinch entries. But they all focused on staying out of boxing range. The way he still looked quite uncomfortable by the fact that someone was just as rangy as him there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, what can you say? The guy doesn't give a shit about clean or otherwise tests, and yeah, I don't know. I just hope that what's that other light heavyweight prospect, Thiago Santos KOs him with like a spinning tornado wheel kick or something at this point. If I'm honest.
Not gonna happen, but that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, credit to him. I mean, that that kind of psyche probably helps a lot with his approach because he looks for every advantage he can get in a fight and doesn't care if anything else goes wrong. But at yeah, I mean, this goes off the real technical side of things because John is really good at that day. But I don't know. It's kind of annoying seeing light heavyweight in this state and then John continuing to fuck up cards.
Yeah.
Alejandro?
What I say is that what I saw in this fight was, first of all, it was pretty much what we say would happen just sooner.
Yeah. I think we said like the fourth round or something like that.
Yeah, I think we both said for fourth round, but this is pretty much what we expected to happen. And because John Jones is very, very diligent, he has been learning things while Goose has more or less gotten better, has gotten himself to make less mistakes in what he was good at, right? But John has been adding new tools to his game. So what you see here is just somebody that has a much, much more complex game and much more layered game than someone else. Like that's kind of what happens. It reminded me like what you see in boxing fights, right? Like I know I go on and on about boxing, right? But it matters in the sense that in MMA, you rarely see something like this, right? Somebody that has so many layers in which they are operating and they are working in parallel, all of them.
Right now, Gus doubled up on the jab this time.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough because he just got better at something he was good at.
But it was
Right?
2 jabs now.
Oh, well, shit, you got me there.
Yeah, but John is such creativity of striking. Like he's one fighter I think who is like gelled really well with Bing's like entire mantra of creativity. Like
yeah, but see, I disagree with that because I think that all that creativity is gone now. I think all that his at least as far as the cage is concerned, I think that all his creativity is mostly constrained to training camps and drilling things and just repeating and repeating and repeating until they become second nature. And then he sort of does a culling of this works, this doesn't work, this has a higher chance of working than something here, and so I'm going to go with this, right? And we very seldom see him trying new things. Like I once made the comparison like with Thiago Santos in that Thiago Santos, you can see him be creative in the cage, right? But you don't see that with John anymore because he has such command of his tools that he doesn't really have to go there. And you also see him, as I said, like he's working in so many different layers, and all of these things are running in parallel. That he is setting things up. When Ben says that he has the best clinch game, I said that I disagreed, but because in terms of damage, right? I disagree in terms of damage, but what John is doing is that he's setting things up. Like he's not beating you in the clinch, like necessarily because he wants to win that exchange. He wants to sap you so that 1 round or 2 rounds from there you are more tired. He's pulling on your arms like in a way that will hurt your shoulders so that they will swell and then you will not be able to punch properly 2 rounds from now. Like he's doing all of these things that are just basic upkeep. And you see this in boxing. You see the best boxers sort of lay out this plan that they have and just sort of slowly work. And you saw him work on the feed, you saw him work on with with his fist. You saw him work with his knees. You saw which he was throwing these perfectly chambered kicks, one after the other, one after the other. He wasn't really doing damage per se, but he was sapping Gus, and he was attacking his mobility, and like he never quite had him in trouble. And he also showed that, for example, his boxing defense isn't good. Like it just isn't good. Like he's still at this stage of MMA development where fighters just don't have good boxing defense. Like even when Gus was doubling on that's Gus throwing that double jab, like Bilal said, and he was catching him a little bit. He was also catching him with some overhands or crosses or whatever. Like, but for the most part, John just decided that he was going to stay out of Gus's range, and he was going to content with working from there. After he got Gus, mind fucked, to put it like prosaically, he just decided, I'm gonna grapple now. He grappled, he got him to the ground. Like he tried it quite a few times. He didn't quite get it, but once he got him down and kept him there for a good amount, like it was his fight, and that's what she wrote. Like that's pretty much it. That's all you have to say about John Jones. He's pretty good at fighting. He still has to work on his boxing defense, but so does 99% of MMA fighters. And he's still the best at light heavyweight. He's a cheater, but so it goes.
And I think his
I just
boxing
wanna
is
point
improved.
out-
Hold on.
I just want to point out two
Yeah.
things quickly. First of all, I mean, it's light heavyweight, so division is like what 7 years behind by default.
Yeah.
And second of all, it wasn't just that he kept Gus guessing. He hurt Gus's leg quite badly in the second round, and then I mean, Gus didn't look like he had it in him to hop out when Jones shot him this time.
No, he just didn't have it. He not only is his game more limited, like his set of skills is much more limited compared to John Jones. We
I'm not
had
talking
that.
about.
Yes.
I'm not talking about it being more limited. I'm saying he looked like he hurt his leg in round 2.
Yes,
And in
yes,
round
but
3, when he came out, he was a lot more fluid.
that tends to come into play because he doesn't have the tools to check those kicks, and he doesn't have the
Yeah.
tools to keep John honest because he is focusing on head hunting. He's not attacking the body. He's not being really diligent with kicks. So John Jones makes up for his lack of defensive acumen with just a lot of offense. Creative offense in the sense that it's very well aimed. Like it's not just going to one place. John was attacking like it was a full spectrum attack. He wasn't just attacking his head. Gus was attacking John's head and occasionally his legs. John was going for everything. He was going for the body. He was going for his head. He was going for the ribs. He was going for his knees. He was going for his calves. He was attacking everything. That's kind of the story of the fight, I think. Like somebody that is just more than someone else.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the actual variety of attack because Jones always has
Okay.
quite a lot. Well, I'm more saying just isolated to the finishing sequence, what set it up. Because, I mean, earlier, Gus was freezing up a little with takedown attempts, but he still had it in to kind of, try to circle out. That last one there, it just looked like he couldn't, even after John grabbed him.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so now I guess we'll just quickly wrap this up with, I guess a quick summary of what we saw from Gus, and I wouldn't mind if we just do a quick summary of what we'd like to see next from both of them. I think the UFC kind of had Anthony Smith and John Jones on the broadcast together, which is just fucking hilarious. That fight would be murder.
But
Right.
we can dream. We can dream.
No.
Let me dream.
Leave Smith alone. He didn't do anything.
Right now, Thiago Santos, light heavyweight champ 2021. It's going to be another 2 years after today.
All right. So for Jones next, are they just going to book DC3, I guess? Heavyweight?
No,
I don't
think
know.
so.
Jones versus Lesnar, man. Let's do it.
Not going to happen. They're going to give it to
Let's just do it.
Will John just fail another test though? Won't he?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's
that's kind of what he does.
Okay, so what are your thoughts, real quick? Where do you see him going next? What do you want to see him do next?
Not fail tests. I'd start there.
I mean, that's quite unrealistic for me. I think he's gonna fuck up again. Like,
I'm
yeah.
a dreamer. I'm a dreamer.
I do want to see John. I do want to see him against DC at heavyweight though, because at light heavyweight, I do think that DC worries about his cardio when he faces John, and I'm not sure if it's correlation or whatever, but he does seem to have more power at heavyweight, like that
Heavyweights
knockout.
are slower.
I mean, I don't think anybody, like, I certainly didn't see that knockout of Stipe coming, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, John will probably win and then probably get busted again, but still, like, that's something I do want to see at heavyweight.
Yeah. What I want to see from John, I don't know. Like, I don't really have much of an expectation of him in the sense that.
What about him versus Romero? We can just
Joel
have John
Romero?
Jones versus. Yep.
Joel is too old. That's the problem. Joel is too old. It would be a good fight like 10 years ago. Like if Joel was just 10 years younger, that would be an amazing fight. But he's too
Joel
old.
is ethereal, man. It's just.
Well, yeah, that is true. He is the Ubermensch.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
Yeah.
What about Gus?
I'd like to see him go to heavyweight. I'd like to see him go to heavyweight, but I don't think that he will. I think he's going to retire possibly, at least for a little while, because I don't know. Like Gus just takes. It's been hard for Gus. Like he's been away for a year and a half. He keeps getting injured. Like he has to battle back in just to be in fighting shape and then train again. It's difficult.
I do
like,
want
just
to see him face. Sorry, I do want to see him face Rockhold though, because he is moving to light heavyweight. Like I think that might be an interesting fight.
Absolutely, but I don't know. I don't know. Like Gus doesn't strike me as someone that is going to do that. He knows he cannot be world champion now. Like it's just impossible. So it's either heavyweight or retire. And I think he's going to either retire or take a long, long break. I know what a downer.
I would like to see Gus at heavyweight. I stand by what I said, that I think he'd do pretty well at heavyweight.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. So moving on, it's time to discuss the co-main event: Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg.
The real main event.
Shit. UFC history, MMA history. We just saw the WMMA GOAT be crowned.
Yeah.
And Alejandro is incredibly excited, and let's let him take.
First of all,
first of all, fuck you, Mijo. Okay, you can continue.
Wait, why? Why? He doesn't have demons. Why? Why are you talking shit, bro?
Just continue.
Okay, okay, after we're done swearing, first of all, we were so wrong. Ben and I were so wrong because I saw, this is what I said. I said that, first of all, Chris Cyborg can take a hell of a shot, has good cardio, is going to sort of box Amanda over time after Amanda has 2 good rounds, and then she's going to rout her in order to finish her in the 4th round.
Well,
that's what I said.
I think we agreed on the outcome. I think where we disagreed on it was on how much of a danger Nunes posed, because I recall myself saying that I think that Nunes can hurt Cyborg. I just didn't think that she would be able to finish or hurt her badly enough to really change the outcome of the fight.
I didn't think her power would translate, dude.
Oh, this is why you need me on the podcast. Clearly, you two are.
Well, yeah, but you had demons.
The demons trying to stop my predictions.
So what? Did you really see this coming, dude? Did you really see this coming?
Oh, of course I did.
Ah, fuck you.
No, I didn't see it coming at all, to be honest.
I thought that the moment Cyborg started pressing the action, and then Nunes landed a wallop, was like, holy shit, this is a fight. And then it just kept like devolving and devolving and devolving into a brawl. But the thing is that Nunes wasn't brawling; she was timing her. Like even in these crazy scrambles on the feet that they were having. Behul is asking in the chat if we can swear. Yes, we can fucking swear.
Yeah, that's why I should talk my home.
Okay, yes, and I was just surprised, like she's accurate as fuck, which leads me to think just like how fucking good is Valentina Shevchenko, you guys? How fucking good is that woman? Can she get some respect now?
Or
What?
how much does that cut drain Nunes?
It doesn't matter. Like she's good.
It does.
Yes, yeah. I know. Like
I mean, one of the reasons she was so tentative against Valentina was because she was worried about her cardio in a rematch.
Yes,
that is.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
And featherweight doesn't have that factor for her, maybe. And she was accurate,
as hell.
Yeah.
But then again, she finished Chris Cyborg in 50 plus seconds. So again, how good is Valentina Shevchenko?
Fair point. No, there's no question.
Like holy shit!
I think you're missing the best take. This is clearly evidence that Ronda's better than Cyborg now.
Wait, by the way, how good is Ronda's chin? How good is Ronda Rousey's chin?
Hold on.
Yeah, that's
lasted 2 seconds less. Ronda lasted 2 seconds less. Number one. Number two, this is Nunes moving up to 145. If Nunes was hitting Ronda at 145.
Yeah, it probably her head goes flying.
Also, Ronda was hit not moving forward. Cyborg was hit
moving forward. That is true.
Moving forward, kind of like throwing haymakers, like a little different, I would say.
I would, but that still, she was hitting frank shots and ended that fight on the feet. Like she was getting hit on the button, like just where you have to hit somebody. She got hit there, and she managed to stay standing. Like I can mind you, like her soul was somewhere else, right? It was just her body like wiggling in there. But holy fuck, this fight was awesome, and Amanda Nunes is awesome, and I'm so happy she won.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
they're
what?
so nice.
But
now what? Well, the featherweight.
Bilal Mahal first.
Go, take it away. Awkward.
Right.
Wait, why'd you say Bilal and Mahal? You know, there's two brown
I'm saying
people.
they still need to talk.
You're not just one person with.
There is 3 brown people actually. There is 3 brown people. Well, beige.
I'm outnumbered.
Dark beige.
Yeah. Well, you're our diversity, are you?
Awkward.
Who is it? Okay, wait. Just go, Mahal. Just go. You've been waiting this way.
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, holy fucking shit. Like, yeah. Like, what the fuck was that? That was an amazing performance. And, like, you know, one of the, like, Cyborg actually caught her with a couple of good shots in the beginning. And she was moving forward. And Cyborg has shown tendency in the past to control her moving forward and, like, following up on hurting someone. But I think here, like, A, she was a bit more sloppy, and B, Nunes is, like, really good. And she's also really good at using her reach.
Yeah.
Like she had 1 inch of reach on Cyborg, and she showed it. And I just love, like, on the replay, I saw her expression as she was countering Cyborg. And, like, it was a fucking amazing expression. And
yes, she's a lion.
Wasn't she looking away initially?
And the first time
shit, I'm looking at her.
No, I thought the first time she caught her, she was looking like she was staring directly at Cyborg. And she beat her up, man. She absolutely beat her up. The last shot that KO'd her, like, she just fell on her head.
Yeah, face planted.
Yeah. Cyborg short-circuited.
That was epic. Like, the way she fell, it was like almost like so aesthetically well set up, right? Like, do you guys remember when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in It was in Zaire. I don't remember where, but the way Foreman fell, like in this sort of arcing motion, as Ali is looking at him and following him, like it had that same presence. Like when she hits with that overhand, and then Cyborg just sort of goes backwards and falls on her head. I mean, it sucks to be Chris Cyborg, right? Because that was nasty, right? Poor girl. But just the way that it looked, it was so compelling to watch. Holy shit! I was so happy. I was so happy.
And also another thing, like people also said that once she got hurt, she was just throwing haymakers. She actually went for a takedown, I think, the first time she got dropped. I think she got dropped 3 times total.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, but like I thought she went.
She
did go. Yeah, she went for a takedown, but Nunes was just too good. Like that was so, like as a very famous commentator would say, the precision was so precise. Like it was just on the point.
Such precise precision.
Yeah, like, that was an impressive performance. Like I think like she has a really good claim to being the greatest female fighter of all time.
Nah, it still goes to Joanna in my opinion.
Well, yes and no, because she did beat Cyborg and she did beat her decisively. Also, she has, as far as I know, she hasn't failed a drug test. Neither has Joanna.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
But Cyborg has failed a drug test, but she was the most dominant woman on the planet, and she got beat up this fight.
I do want to point out a few things with this fight. So I really liked it when the commentary talked about how straight and efficient Nunes' punches were, even when she was throwing these really looping hooks at Cyborg coming in. Those super straight hooks. Yeah, super straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't quite like that. But I mean, they were probably in the moment. And also, I was kind of surprised that Cyborg didn't do a usual step back and counter off her opponent's reactions. Then she kind of just walked into Nunes's counters about like 3 times before she actually got hurt. Not sure if the power was throwing her off or she just wanted to have a strong first round, but I did find that a bit strange. Although the reach could have been an issue also.
Well, but that's because of the nature of the fight, right? I'm sure that both these people had a game plan, but at some point it just went out the window and it just became a scramble on the feet. Like I use this terminology of like scrambles on the feet to sort of make like a photo line with what happens like on the floor when fighters don't quite have a set position and they're sort of fighting for it. It kind of happens in the stand-up too. And that's what happened here. Like they were sort of joking for position and trying to make the best out of these sort of closed spaces that they were fighting themselves into. And Amanda just made the better choices. And Cyborg tried to gut it out. Like she got hit like twice, and then she tried to keep coming forward because I don't know why. Like I think she was groggy or something. She didn't feel like she could properly like counter like she always does. So she flipped the coin and it didn't fall where she wanted.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I don't have a problem with how she reacted because, I mean, on the one hand, trying the same thing harder often doesn't really help, but she was kind of groggy, so can't blame her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And because a lot of people say that Holly Holm is the best counterpuncher in the division.
What?
I think.
I mean, no offense to Holly Holm, but who says that?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you remember the Holm Cyborg build-up and even the inside the octagon guys, they were also treating it as if she's so good at counterpunching and Cyborg will pressure her and she might get caught. Cyborg, that is. I think Nunes showed much, much better counterpunching.
Yes.
Well, Nunes can also land with a lot more power than Holm.
Yeah, but like Holm would miss and like get hit a lot.
Holm always misses a lot.
Well, she kind of lets you know when they're coming. So.
Yeah.
I mean, she hits with a sound though.
Yeah.
Oh, she screams the sound also.
Yeah, she hits with her sound.
Not against Anderson though. Speaking of Megan Anderson,
Oh, she,
Holy
she shot
Holm.
wrestler.
Yeah, Holy Holm kept quiet in that fight, if I remember correctly. She
Oh,
kept
so
quiet
only
in that
strike.
fight.
She only shots and strikes. Got to
Yeah.
make the judges let the judges know.
Ah, what a beautiful
But
thing.
let's move on to Alexander Volkanovski because
Yes,
I
we
want to
will.
talk about him before Ben.
Benny's saving his voice for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. So let me start. I just want to say that I
Motherfucker.
obviously knew
This
that.
is mine.
No, it's Ben's. Like trust me, he's been saving himself for this.
Yeah, Ben.
I ran like a goddamn lunatic around my fucking apartment, screaming and yelling. Okay. All right.
Did you wake the baby up?
No, thank God. It was unreal watching this. Just I was like in utter not shock, because I actually called the TKO round 2. In when I actually decided to pick the fight in like my group chat. Alejandro,
Yeah.
saw him get knocked down,
Yes.
recover instantly.
Well, it wasn't instantly, but it was really quick.
It was real instant. He was lucid the second he hit the ground. He was not like, out.
No, he was dropped, but he was fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was dropped, but fine. And then he comes back. He was fighting the single most athletic fighter in MMA in the featherweight history, barring Jose Aldo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's on par with him.
Well, I think Mossad Bektik would like to have a word with you, Ben, but go on.
What'd you say?
He's having emotional issues. He's always having emotional issues.
I think the featherweight Ryan Bader, Mossad Bektik would like.
And Jair Rodriguez, if we're like going for crazy athleticism, Jair Rodriguez.
Okay, so let's move along. So basically, we saw Volkanovski. People were worried because this was a bad stylistic matchup. It was, because Volkanovski's offense is kind of his defense, and he blocked most of the big shots. The big shots he did eat, he was able to eat and keep moving. And he was able to wear down Mendes and finish him. And it wasn't even the punches to the head that actually ended up finishing. It was a beautiful left hook to the body that dropped him.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Apparently, it was the subsequent shot.
What?
Well, Volkanovski hit Mendes with a beautiful left hook to the body, but apparently, what actually dropped him was a punch to the face.
Yeah, I think I did his forehead.
I know that he hit him with a right hook after, but the actual body shot is what got him to crumble. It was delayed reaction.
Yeah,
perhaps
you should pay more
you may be
attention to
correct.
Volkanovski, Ben. You should pay more attention to Volkanovski, Ben.
What?
No, he's just being a asshole.
Look at the reaction Mendes had when he went down.
We agree. We agree.
Right. Okay. So the body shot. His wrestling held up pretty much. He was able to get up the 2 times Mendes did get him down. He didn't have to use his wrestling to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. I'm like having these long pauses because I'm so fucking excited. I don't know how else to explain it. Like the guy that I, went to bat for,
showed up big time.
He didn't just show up and win. He showed up and finished Chad Mendes. A lot of analysts were picking him to lose. Pretty much every analyst was picking him to lose. All the people I knew were picking him to lose. And I
shut up. Shut your mouth. I picked him to win.
I said most, not all.
Those that count in Ben's heart.
Wow.
But yeah, it was.
You know what? No, Connor and Phil McKenzie both chose him to lose. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? Eat it, heavy hands. Eat it. No, I'm joking.
We're better than you.
We're better than you. And by we, I mean me. What? What you gonna do?
And me.
We're coming for that title. We're coming for it. But in all seriousness, we do love heavy hands, and I honestly listen to them every week. And but
they're just wrong.
Again,
and we're not.
There was a lot to like about what we saw from Volkanovski. We now know how he responds to adversity, which is to get up and start punching you in the fucking face. We know that his cardio doesn't get affected.
It's insane.
He's able to hang with the best athletically. He's so fucking strong. He was able to toss around, like he was able to throw off Chad Mendes.
He wasn't throwing him off more than he was.
Like he was able to easily escape Chad Mendes.
It didn't look easy, but it looked like he had to put effort into it, but it looked doable. Like he knew what he was doing and he knew that it was going to work. Like he was so confident in those exchanges. What?
He got up so fast. He nearly looked like Derek Lewis against featherweights.
I'm not sure. It looked like he. See, that's the difference. I don't think it was like just power, like just power. He was like working, like his technique was real swift. Like he was working so quickly, and that's like something that should be mentioned, in my opinion. Like how quick can Volkanovski put things together? Like imagine like just the string of techniques. Like you have this chain that you have to you want to use. Like Volkanovski can put that chain together in an instant, and that's kind of what fucked with Chad Mendes' mind, because this guy was coming at him as hard as he was, as frequently as he wanted to come at him, but he was just being so relentless, and everything was just so technically precise, like a clockwork, like a little machine. He was just like chuk, 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 like ticking until Chad Mendes just gave out. Like his body wouldn't do what he wanted it, he wanted it to do.
I'm not.
But he was technical.
I wasn't saying wasn't technical, but like you don't just get underhooks on Mendes and then stand up normally.
Yeah.
Just because Mendes is that powerful himself, you need a lot of technique to go toe to toe with him in those phases. But
my point is that
he's technique.
Okay, let me see if I can rephrase it. Let me see if I can rephrase it properly, or rather in a more convincing manner. Like his strength is so ingrained, like he has such command of it that it translates into his technique immediately. Like there's like very few wasted motions that this guy does, and over time those add up, so that before you even notice, you are at a deficit with him. That's what I'm saying. Like his strength isn't like the kind of explosive strength like that Chad Mendes has. Like he can overcome you with a single like motion. Like Volkanovski uses it to aid his technique. Like he's not pure explosion, is my point. He has somehow managed to funnel it, if you will, imagine like the Mendes is like a tidal wave, right? But Volkanovski makes like a river. Yeah, no, he's a river, but he's just a constant ongoing river. It's not like a tidal wave that comes and goes. Like it's just a constant stream. Like it just keeps super fast, and he can just get faster and faster as much as he needs. I mean, if we go power for power, I think Mendes is still above him, but he just cannot keep up that level of intensity, of activity, of just having to follow through all these chains that Volkanovski can. Like that's what really surprised me, like just how technically sound and how he can put all these things together, at least like on first sight, because I haven't watched the fight again, but it did seem like everything that he needed, he had it available for him at a whim. Like he didn't have.
Yeah, yes? Well, that's where I was going with the analogy of like a tsunami, because a tsunami, what makes it kind of devastating isn't the height of the wave, it's the length. Because once it crashes, the water just keeps on coming and coming and coming.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and we've seen it kind of in other older fights of Volkanovski, especially that someone Kennedy, some lanky wrestler he fought before, where even when others would shoot in and try to take him down, he'd do things like turn the corner so fast that even though you have the single leg grab, you end up getting taken down by your own forward momentum. Just because you kind of like just plow straight ahead into nothingness while he's pivoting off to the side. And yeah, it's really weird because he doesn't have a wrestling background and his style seems a lot more like a clinch focused kickboxer. But I don't know, it's like Ortega striking. Everything seems becoming so naturally to him that he can just do shit like that on.
But he can, but he puts it together so quickly. That's my point. Like he reminded me of that kind of just stupid athleticism, like we see with people like Jair Rodriguez. Like he can just keep going at this pace, just like a clock, like tak 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 tak. Just keep things going at a super high pace. But he's technically sound. Volkanovski is technically sound. What?
I wouldn't be surprised if that has something to do with his rugby background.
You know what? I was thinking that. I actually agree with that. I think that it must have something to do with the fact that he's accustomed, at least mentally, to keep a certain level of intensity for prolonged periods of time. So his mind doesn't go, it doesn't wander away. He just keeps the pressure coming. But it's interesting that he can...
Rugby is quite cardio intensive, so that makes sense.
All right, so Mahol, any comments before we move on?
Does Mahol have demons?
Yeah. Yeah, occasionally, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, as far as prospects go, I think he's the best. I do have a soft spot for Zabit.
Yeah, he kills Zabit, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think Zabit beats his guy.
He does. No, I think...
he probably kills Jair too, and I don't want to see that.
Oh no, he would fuck up Yair Rodriguez.
Don't say it. If you say it, it becomes real. No, you shut up.
I want to see that now. I want to see that now.
No.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Jair is wounded right now. He can't fight. Stop being mean.
It's okay. He can wait. That's...
Yeah, but I don't know. How do you think is 1001 spinning kicks will match up to the clinch?
But how is he just gonna grab him?
All right.
He's just gonna grab him. Okay.
Let's move on to. It's really straightforward. We're just gonna wish Katsungano a recovery. Hopefully her eye is okay.
Yeah. Apparently, Audrey wrote me and says that apparently it was just a wound / scratch on her eyelid. Didn't need to go to the hospital. It was just like a very bad scare.
Good. Thank God.
Apparently. Thank God.
All right. Peter Yan did Peter Yan things and beat up Douglas Silva de Andrade.
He's amazing.
Saw a rare corner stoppage.
Yes, like MVP.
Awesome. Thank you for that corner.
Yes.
Ryan Hall submitted BJ Penn. I fucking told y'all. BJ Penn is not winning a fight in 2018. Ryan Hall is better at BJ Penn than jiu-jitsu.
And apparently he's...
expect?
I didn't expect anything. I was just like making an argument.
I'm talking more.
I don't know, like a spinning hook kick knocking BJ out was probably in the realms of possibility.
His knee is fucked now.
Yeah,
it
hurt.
But at least it'll stop him from fighting. So silver linings.
All right. That last thing, I guess Nathaniel Wood. Bilal said he has wood for wood, I think it was.
Yes.
Take it away, Bilal.
Absolutely destroyed Andre Ewell, and go for it.
Yeah, no, I have some hardwood for that. It was actually very impressive to see because Wood.
Is he South African?
No, I don't think so. I think he's British. But
okay.
Wood looked small standing opposite Silva, but it didn't seem to really. Well, not Silva. Who did he fight? Ewell. Yeah, Ewell. He looked small standing.
British.
Yeah. he looked small standing opposite him, and then the fight actually started, and I don't know, it looked like the better athlete, looked like the better technician. His defense wasn't always there, but he was always mindful of it. And Evil didn't really seem to get a lot done outside of the occasional clean punch. I mean, it was basically just a shit kicking, and then Wood found out that if he um, uprooted Evil and took him to the ground, Evil would stay planted by Wood. And from there, Wood could just go to work with some really hard elbows. Um, and yeah, I'm kind of glad the corner stopped it because Evil's face was messed up after Wood hit him. Like, it was bad. At one point, it looked like his face was spraying blood.
Yeah, that was pretty. It was just an all around and super impressive performance. Looking forward to seeing his next fight. I guess we'll end on the most important thing of the night, Uriah Hall. What a comeback! He put Bevon Lewis out cold.
He's an offensive
Yeah.
dynamite.
Beyond offensive. He's
Uriah was learning that
most
Derek
like,
Lewis and Yoel Romero magic.
yeah, no, I mean, offensively, there may not. He is definitely top 5 most offensively potent, like insta finishers the sports scene. Like, really, how many other fighters would you say top Uriah Hall as a guy who you can be beating him and then just goodbye?
Well, it's Derek Lewis and Yoel Romero. So I
That's
said
it.
he's learning some of that magic. Well, and Brian Ortega, but like Brian Ortega will look competitive and then win. Uriah Hall will not look competitive and then win. So yeah, it's those two guys.
But it's not a long list.
No.
Fuck it, Uriah Hall. He's the next MMA FC champion.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
The mythical mixed artist fighters.
Also, shout
Fuck
out
it, Uriah Hall.
Shout out to Uriah Hall for that beautiful post-fight speech.
Yeah, that was so sweet. That was so sweet. He's a sweet guy.
I wish him all the best. I wish his sister only the best. Just and again, just to end this show, I guess on a positive note in a way. If you are suffering from depression, get help. It's something that you don't have to fight it alone. So
yeah.
Yeah,
no, I like Uriah Hall after that fight.
I've always I liked him since he knocked the fuck out some guy with a spinning back kick, and then was like, I am so sorry. I was like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
He's so sweet. Like he's a gentle soul.
He is.
Just for whatever reason, he's just good at like blowing people's faces with punches.
Correct. And I think with that, we can kind of end this show. It was a good one. It was a weird one.
Yeah.
And
recorded just after the event.
Yeah. This is the first time we've ever done that. And Alexander Volkanovski will be the future featherweight champion. He's going to dethrone Max Holloway. All right.
And then
no, I don't want to hear it. 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 All people.